Raoul Bautista represents the next level of crime in the world of Grand Theft Auto 6. He's not a simple street thug. The information we have describes him as a seasoned professional bank robber, confident, charming, and cunning. He's always on the hunt for fresh talent, people like Lucia and Jason, who are ready to take the big risks that bring the biggest rewards. His danger lies not in open hostility, but in his cold professionalism. He likely sees the game's protagonists not as partners, but as assets to be used for a score. His motto, "A professional adapts," is a clear warning. He would likely bring Lucia and Jason into a massive heist, using their skills to overcome obstacles he can't, only to adapt to the situation by cutting them out or leaving them to take the fall once the money is secured. His betrayal wouldn't be personal, it would be business. Dealing with a character like Raoul will likely be a major turning point for Lucia and Jason, forcing them to learn that in the world of high-stakes heists, trust is a liability and loyalty is only extended until the job is done. Brian Heder is the classic Vice City criminal, a relic from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys. On the surface, he looks like a relaxed Leonida beach bum, but we have to say he moves like a great white shark. He represents a more insidious kind of betrayal, not through a sudden double cross, but through manipulation. He's been around long enough to let others do his dirty work for him, and that's exactly the role Jason fills at the start of the story. Brian lets Jason live rent-free on one of his properties, but this isn't an act of kindness, it's leverage. He uses this position to press Jason into handling local shakedowns and other risky jobs while he stays safe at his boatyard with his wife Lori. His betrayal is the slow burn exploitation of a subordinate. He'll send Jason on increasingly dangerous runs, all while he enjoys a mudslide at sunset, taking most of the profit and none of the risk. The conflict will inevitably arise when Jason and Lucia realize they're just pawns in his game and decide they want more. Breaking free from Brian's control will likely be their first major step toward building their own criminal enterprise. The duo of Bay Lux and Roxy, known as Real Dimes, represent an entirely new form of threat in the Grand Theft Auto universe. They aren't traditional criminals motivated by territory or old codes. Their enterprise is built on modern fame. Friends since high school, they have the savvy to turn their criminal activities, like shaking down local dealers, into viral rap tracks and a relentless social media presence. Their danger comes from their ambition. They are described as being one hit away from fame, and their loyalty is to their brand, not their partners in crime. A potential betrayal from Real Dimes wouldn't be a simple backstab for cash. It would be for clout. They might collaborate with Lucia and Jason on a heist, but their primary goal would be to capture footage for a spicy new track. Their betrayal could come in the form of leaking details of a crime for views, putting a massive target on everyone involved, all for the sake of a hit record. They are signed to only Raw Records and hoping for lightning to strike twice after a previous hit single. In their world, Lucia and Jason aren't partners. They're potential props in their next music video. Dealing with them means navigating a world where a viral post can be more dangerous than a bullet.
Draquan Priest and Booby Ike represent the intersection of street crime and legitimate enterprise in Vice City. Booby's the Old Guard, a local legend who has successfully laundered his illicit past into a respectable empire of real estate, a recording studio, and the popular Jack of Hearts strip club. He's described as being all smiles until it's time to talk business, a clear sign that his friendly demeanor hides a ruthless operator. His blunt admission that the drug money pay for it all proves that his entire empire is built on a dangerous foundation. Draquan, on the other hand, is the ambitious new blood. He's more of a hustler than a gangster, a smooth operator who used Boobies Club to get his start but now has his sights set on the bigger Vice City scene. Their partnership in the only Raw Records label is where the potential for betrayal lies. Booby is invested, but he needs a hit. If Draquan and his artists like Real Dimes fail to deliver, Booby could easily cut them loose to protect his investments. Conversely, Draquan could see Booby not as a partner, but as a stepping stone. He could use Booby's resources to build his own power base before making a move to take over the entire operation. Lucia and Jason could easily get caught in the middle of this power struggle, hired by one to undermine the other in a war for control of Vice City's lucrative nightlife.
Cal Hampton is a different kind of threat, representing the danger that comes not from ambition, but from paranoia and fear. Rockstar, they have, describes him as Jason's friend and a fellow associate of the drug runner Brian Heder. He isn't a frontline criminal. He feels safest at home, snooping on Coast Guard communications with a beer in hand. His worldview is defined by his belief that the psychopaths are in charge, and he seems content to stay at the low tide of America. A character like Cal, steeped in casual paranoia, is an inherent liability. His potential betrayal wouldn't be born from greed, but from fear. If the pressure from rival gangs or law enforcement becomes too intense, he is the type of character who might crack and sell out his friends to save himself. His access to sensitive information through snooping on official channels also makes him a prime target for federal agents looking for leverage against Jason and Lucia. Dealing with Cal presents a unique dilemma for Jason. What do you do when your own friend, the person who should be your ally, becomes the weakest link in your entire operation? At the heart of Grand Theft Auto 6 are its two protagonists, Lucia Caminos and Jason Duval, a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde whose relationship is the story's central, most volatile element. The potential for betrayal between them isn't a side plot, it is the main event. Lucia is the hardened pragmatist. After fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary, she's learned her lesson and is committed to making only smart moves from now on. Her motivation is clear: to achieve the good life for her mother that has always eluded them. Her personal motto is cold and calculated. The only thing that matters is who you know and what you got. This philosophy sets her up for a potential betrayal born not of malice but of strategy. If Jason becomes a liability or threatens her one shot at success, her prison-forged pragmatism might lead her to cut him loose. Jason, on the other hand, wants an easy life, but things just keep getting harder. He grew up around crooks, and even tried to escape that life with a stint in the army, only to end up back where he started, working for drug runners in the Keys. His promise to Lucia, "If anything happens, I'm right behind you," is the ultimate question of the narrative. Is it a vow of unwavering loyalty or a statement of self-preservation? Their entire story is a test of this dynamic, pushing them into situations where Lucia's ruthless planning will clash with Jason's desire for an easy way out, forcing them to decide if their partnership was the best or the worst thing to ever happen to them. Beyond the major players, the world of Grand Theft Auto 6 is populated by a rich cast of smaller, more volatile characters who represent the everyday chaos of Vice City. First, there's Wyman, the embodiment of the game's satirical social commentary. He's the street corner prophet of paranoia, ranting about how a dead tech mogul is still alive and how entire countries don't exist. His plea to break out of the fucking cage is aimed at everyone, including Jason. While not a direct antagonist, his unpredictable nature and conspiratorial worldview make him a dangerous associate, especially since he seems to be tied to a parts-finding gameplay system. Then you have Sam, a character who serves as a walking cautionary tale. Seen in the Jack of Hearts nightclub, his entire presence is defined by a messy, public argument with his partner over suspected infidelity. Dre even describes him as being straight out of a mob movie, and his cynical declaration that, "Never fall in love, it ain't worth it," acts as a dark parallel to Lucia and Jason's own complicated relationship. Finally, there's Tit, the nightclub DJ, who offers a simple lesson in Vice City's brutal hierarchy. After disrespecting his boss, Draquan, over something as minor as getting a drink, he is unceremoniously fired on the spot. His story, though brief, shows how quickly anyone who doesn't understand the power dynamics can be discarded. Together, this entire cast of characters, from professional bank robbers and old-school smugglers to viral rap stars and paranoid locals, creates a deeply layered criminal ecosystem. It suggests that the true antagonist of the story may not be a single villain, but the culture of Vice City itself, a world of greed, fame, and betrayal that will constantly test Lucia and Jason, forcing them to decide who to trust and what they're willing to do to survive.